Hello everyone, and welcome back to Elden Ring. Last time, my thing cut out because my computer did a blue screen, a big old blue screen on me. Thankfully I didn't lose much progress though. Seems like I lost no progress actually. That's not the correct thing I want to go to. So where's the... I guess it did lose my progress, as in I didn't get that bonfire. So I'm just gonna have to ride on back there now, won't I? I guess getting those graces did have a purpose. If I got them, that is. I did not get them, in fact. But anyway, my computer just shut down completely. Complete blue screen. It probably like overheated from the game. That's been happening when I've been trying to test out some more intensive games on it. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider, if you use the more modern DirectX versions. I'm moving my desk around. There's like a table that slides out from my desk where I put my keyboard and mouse. Or rather, tray. It's as big as a table though. Watch out for the lightning. Lightning can easily kill your entire health bar. I'm still running past that grace because I don't care. I don't care about your grace. Your grace face, your face of grace. It's odd how there are so many particles just floating mid-air. I feel like they're supposed to be like cave particles, like on the walls. Kind of like how there are glow slugs in real life. But then you just see them in the sky, and then it's like, no, it's just nonsense particles. Nonsense magic particles floating around. Now let me ride up you. Apparently, horse cannot ride up elevators. But it can get on the elevator, but it cannot ride the elevator. Poor horse. He can only go on... He can only go outside. Technically inside, because that's a big cave. But technically only outside areas at the same time. And it's very selective as to where he can go. Like, I think that some of the underground areas just don't allow you to have horseman at all. Here's hoping that the game does not blue screen my computer again. That would be nice. It would be incredibly gracious of you, you could say, to not blue screen my computer. So what I did lose in the footage was I killed that giant and got like a shield that was underneath him. It looks like the shield is back up there. So I lost like a minute or two of progress, which is nothing. That's nothing to me. You know what I've lost before? In Dark Souls 2, I've lost 2 million souls. This is nothing to me. Defeat the giant bowmen, for you do not want them to be annoying you, or at least killing you. You might not be annoyed, but you'll be dead. And death, in a way, is an annoyance, because it interrupts life. At least if you don't want to die. But even if you do want to die, it interrupts life, I suppose. Why aren't you staggering? I'm hitting you 70 times with my swords. Great arrow. If only we got an arrow that is as big as the arrows that they shoot at us. Call it an ultra great bow. And have it be 20 feet tall. And make it require like 57 strength to wield. Make it require 99 strength even. So you talk to the big jar, he says beat these guys, and if you beat these guys, then you get the reward we're looking for. And these guys are based on different players throughout who play the game online, pretty much. I'm not sure who it would summon here if you just play entirely offline. That would be an interesting experiment to run. But these guys are not too tough. I mean, they're tough, but they hit hard because they're based on real players, but they shouldn't be too tough to defeat. I say that and then I die. I almost die. Okay. Come on now, come on now. I can be doing much better than this. Oh, yeah. Come on, no, don't do that on me. Why does that attack not track that well? I feel like it could track way better than that. Yes. I did not mean to do the second attack, but it worked anyway. Now if only I had something in that physic. I have not used the physic the whole game. And you pretty much don't need the physic at all, but it would be nice to have something in it right now that would restore my stamina, or rather magic stamina, not regular stamina. My magic points. That's gonna be a tough weapon to counter. If it actually gets to use the weapon on me, that is. That's like one of those fancy Melania Knight weapons. Seems that pure strength won out over the other guy, however. Now we only have one more Knight of the Great Jar. And by the way, these guys are random each time you come here, so you can't really look that far into the future as for your strategy against these guys. Let's do one of these. Even if you have no magic, it still does a good amount of damage with that last attack. Well, it looks like they were dumb and did not decide to roll away. Thank you, kind madam. And then you talk to the Great Jar. And what does it have? It has the Great Jar's arsenal, which is basically you get tons of equip load. It raises it by 14 points, which is nowhere near as good as the equip load raisers in Dark Souls 1. Or I think 2 or 3 for that matter. But hey, it raises it. Raises it a little bit, and every little bit counts with super heavy builds, but it doesn't count enough. So it's time to grind out a little bit and then return to the main plot story, the story of the main plot. Here's one thing with the story that doesn't make any sense. You can beat the entire game without getting that many pieces of the Elden Ring, without getting all of the pieces of the Elden Ring. And it's just like, well, surely the Elden Ring is a super important thing in the story, you know? Surely we'd have to get all of the pieces of the Elden Ring to beat Elden Ring, but no, you don't have to get all the pieces of the Elden Ring. Isn't that funny? It is funny, haha. Or is it funny, teehee? Come at me. All of you come at me. Where'd that one alive guy go? Don't lock on to the wrong one. You can lock on to the correct one, my fellow person I am controlling. So how much more until I become rollable? Good and rollable. That's 2. Is that enough? Is that enough to be rollable? It is not. But I can wear something, I guess, slightly heavier. Look at that. It's a nice little lady cape for lady people. A dress with a cape on it. That's what I mean. It is a caped dress. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. Souls. Not runes. Souls. That's what I will always say. Because it just makes more sense to call it souls. That's 1 level. Do I have enough? Is it enough? No. Why? Why is it not enough? I think it has to be like 2/3 of the maximum weight. Or something like that. So what if I do that? That works. But then I have this random doofy head. Doofy goofy head. Do I have any? I do have any of these. That might work. That might be enough. One singular point. Is one single point enough? No, not at all. Not at all. Once we get done with the equipment, then I believe the rest of the game should go by very smoothly and quickly. And if it doesn't, then there are like some spots where you can get tons of souls pretty easily if you just like beat a boss or two. Like in this area, there's a boss that has tons of souls if you just beat him. And then there's ways to get even more souls after you beat a boss. Like if you go and find patches out in the world, then you can get more souls from beating bosses. Because he sells you these foul foot things that increase your souls gained for a short little while of time. A while of time. What is a while of time? Is 3 more levels enough, or do I need to go 50 levels higher? That is good. That is plenty good enough. Look at that thing. I'm rolling, I'm rolling. But is it good enough for the Radon helmet? It is. It's good enough for Radon's helmet, but somehow Radon's helmet is not as good as the prisoner mask, the basic mask we start with. Or as heavy. So how about that? Prisoner wins over Radon in the end. So now it's time to actually go to the capital city and start beating some main bosses with my Radon main that I don't have on. My horse has a main, however. It does have a main. Torrent. It's named Torrent. Torrent after the website where you steal music from. Or rather, you, like, use it to steal music. You use a torrent. And movies, too, I think. Look, giant, massive, huge city, and little, big, huge giants for comparison for how huge the big, huge city is. What a comparison to create. You can pretty much just ignore all these giants. And then up here there is a summon, but this summon does not negate your ability to use ashes. For some reason, some summons don't negate your ability to use ashes, which I find to be very, very odd. It's like you're handicapping yourself, game. You're making yourself much easier than you have to be. Okay, guys, where are you? Where are you guys? I think he might be trying to attack the giant over there. But anyway, big horse dragon guy who's the draconic tree guy on a horse. Dragon horse and dragon man. Horse shoots fire, so do not go for fire. Instead, go for man. Bosses like this that ride horses are sort of made to be fought on top of a horse. So if you find yourself having difficulties with bosses like that, try going on a horse. Horses, by the way, are not able to be used in this huge, massive area. So we'll have to run all the way on foot through these 7 billion miles of city. That's what it feels like, at least. It feels like 7 billion miles. Because it's huge. So I'm going to level that up to 30 at least. Maybe 40 if I feel like it. But I think I have a plenty long endurance meter and plenty of weight. Putting it up to 30 just eases your mind, you know. It makes it an even number. And odd numbers are too odd. They're too weird, those odd numbers. So next should be the magic meter. It should be mined so that I can perform my super big, huge yell attack many more times. Many more multiples of times before I can not use it anymore. That's the big door we need to go to in order to beat the game. The end of the game is beyond that big, huge door in the Eard tree, the Erd tree, the Arg tree, the tree. The tree that makes you want to die. For it has tough bosses inside of it. But are they tough, or are they just... do they just have poor design? Some things in games are tough, and some things in games have very poor design, and people conflate the two very often. Oh look, just one swing. I didn't even need the second swing. But people will often just say that something is tough when they don't know if it's tough or just poorly designed. Because they're just being like, well, I'm playing the game, I'm having fun with it. And then not thinking about the bosses and how they're designed. I feel like people, and also me, because I am people, do that often. But anyway, you don't need to go through that building, you don't need to fight anything through any of these sections, you just need to run. Because we have our grind spot, which means we can get infinite souls at any time. So we can just ignore everything that's trying to hurt us. And then, oh, gold firefly. If you kill this thing, then it gives you a tree seed. Hello? Can you let me by? Thank you. But he gives you like a tree seed so you can have more flasks. That is if you have like 4 other seeds with you. Oh, and look, it's a huge massive dragon that's bigger than any other dragon in the entire series of Dark Souls games. It's bigger than even Midir. Look at that guy. He can't shoot me. He can only shoot where I am currently. And once I leave where I am currently, then his shots don't matter anymore. But yeah, you just climb on top of this massive, huge, massive dragon. Then go up its leg and then jump off its leg. And make sure not to jump where you'll die. Or else you'll be sent all the way back. And there was a rune arc there. In case you're bleeding for rune arcs. If you are bleeding for rune arcs, then go online for a while. Because helping out people will give you more rune arcs. And runes, just in general. Didn't stand a chance, that guy. He never stood a chance. Not for a second, or millisecond, or microsecond. Look, even the basic enemies are using lightning these days. What's the world come to? There's that huge, massive gargoyle man, but we don't care about the gargoyle man. We just care about the golden seed. And getting past him, because up there is where we must go to fight the next boss, the next main boss, in the main game, the game that is main. Make sure he doesn't knock you off. Unlike what I'm doing. I just let him knock me around. Here's lots of tree people who don't matter at all. Just run past everything. 'Cause who cares about normal Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat as in the combat that could kill you, and not the game, not the video game. Get your ashes ready. And get your drink ready right after you summon your thing, your thing-a-ling. Do lots of jump attacks, because they do stagger damage, lots of stagger damage. And then roll away whenever you fear that he will kill you, which is probably very often. That you will feel that you will fear that he will kill you. But anyway, 4th talisman pouch and achievement. I got an achievement. And that's where you get the last talisman pouch. So now we can equip all the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We have 20% more souls, we have healing on critical attacks, we have raised equip load, and we have just constant healing all the time. So isn't that special? By the way, you can find Melina, the maiden who is assigned to you, if you sit down at a bonfire any time in the city. So if you don't want to find Melina, then don't sit down at the bonfires. Which is kind of what I'm doing. I was doing it just by mistake, but now I'm doing it on purpose, for no reason. Just to, I guess, see if I can get through here without sitting down. Here is a finger assassin. He has fingers and he assassinates you. That was not that much damage. I thought he would do a lot more to me, but I guess I'm pretty overpowered, aren't I? On this massive bed chamber, on this massive bed, there's a spell. But if you come back here, like later in the story, then there's a second spell. And you can just gather them both at the same time if you come back here later. And I will show you that, because probably not everyone does that. But I do that. It's just one of those unique things. So, I don't know how, but somehow you can get Melina as a summon for this boss. I don't know what the requirements are. And then there's a cutscene, and then we summon things. We summon that thing. And then he kills me. Yep. Exactly as I predicted, because he was way too close to me for that to go any other way. But other than him killing me, this boss fight should go through pretty swimmingly. Oh, why? Why did you do that? I did not gather the grace. How ungracious of me. And now I pretty much need to use rune arcs to keep my equip load in check. Because it gives me 5 extra levels. I could get my equip load up to 34, just so that I don't need the extra levels. I might do that. I think I'll do that. With these souls I am getting from these soulless creatures. But anyway, you need to at least touch a grace in order to spawn at a grace. And I did not. I thought I did, but I did not. I was too distracted by that spell over there. That big spell. Look at all these fancy little works of stone. Who on earth makes stone like this, dangling like that? Like 20,000 feet above the air. That's the things that I think of. How do they make all of this stuff? Who makes all of this stuff? Who makes all this architecture? And how do they make all this architecture? Architecture? Architecture. Like, did someone just magic up all this architecture? Or did someone actually make it by hand? How did you get all the way over there? Melina? That's Mortal Kombat for you, to bring it back to combat. These swords go in an X pattern, so if you just dodge and then avoid the X pattern, then you'll avoid the swords. That said, this guy with 3 other people is pretty easy. And get away from him if you can, because he does the big explode attack with another X pattern, by the way. I think that Melina is making him bleed, or maybe poison or something. That, or she's just doing that little damage to him that it seems like it's poison or bleed. But anyway, that's him down. He's dead forever. And that's another achievement gotten. And who cares about that throne? I don't care. I don't care about that throne. So now you have to go all the way up here and then click on the door. See that you can't go through the door and then go all the way back here just for the grace to appear. It does not appear unless you click on the door. And you cannot get out of here unless you click on the door and then come all the way back here and then have a little dialogue with Melina from Mortal Kombat. Except her eye is all messed up. And then she's like, oh yeah, your journey isn't over yet. You actually have to go to the land of the giants. The big giant land with this medallion thing. And then get her to go away because it's faster leveling up without her here. And mind, yes. More magic points. They call them focus points, but really they're magic points. Come on now, they're magic points. Come on now. That was not the right grace that I went to. I was thinking I would come here and then run all the way across the road, but I don't need to start at one end of the road. I can start at halfway down the road instead. 'Cause that's where that grace is, and this is where this one is. It's like 20% down the road. And that's where we're headed, is all the way down the road. Because that's where the main plot has decided that we are supposed to go. Imagine running all this way just to find a lift that you can't go up because you don't have the rolled medallion. The medallion of rolled that she just gave us. You can go through the store anytime, but there's like an elevator you can't go on at some point without the rolled medallion. I think it's actually a force field. that appears if you don't have the medallion. Which is odd, isn't it? Isn't that odd that there are force fields? At least it isn't an invisible barrier. That like doesn't tell you the requirements to go through it. It could have been. They could have been mean like that. Like with illusory walls. Look at all these sorry fellows who cannot ride on elevators. Ha 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 ha. Take that. Take the elevator. Or rather, don't take the elevator. For I do. Oh, he can. But then his AI breaks. And gives me the easy kill. No more AI for that guy. His intelligence was truly artificial, you could say. Mwahahaha. More talismans that don't mean anything to me, because who cares about flame talismans? If you want to, you can use the rune we just got on that tower over there, over that away. That's how you activate it, is you go to that tower, and then there's like a boss in between here and that tower. And this thing explodes into a bigger dung beetle. Japan likes their dung beetles. I thought that would give me a better reward, but it did not. It gave me a regular stinky reward, which I guess makes sense for dung beetles. Why can't I ride my horse all the way across here? This is a massive bridge, man. I guess they just didn't think about that when they made the game for like... How long was it? It was 6 years between Dark Souls 3 and this game. They just didn't think about you using your horse on that bridge for that long. For 6 years they didn't think about it. Surely someone playtested this game at some point. Surely they did. But you can't really assume anything nowadays. Anything could be true, any wild story could be exactly the truth. Forbidden lands that last like 2 inches, and then you're in the mountaintops of the giants. This is literally the smallest portion of the game, is the Forbidden Lands. It's smaller than the Weeping Peninsula. Look, it's the first required jump in the game. You have to jump over that gap. At least I think it's the first required one, and then the second required one, right after it. I wonder how many required jumps there are in this huge, massive, big game. If you were just to follow the main story and do 0 side bosses, that's the next challenge for you challenge people who do tons of challenges. Play the whole game without jumping at all. Just walking, just walk everywhere. Don't even use your horse, just walk everywhere. Someone's probably already done that, and I probably already watched the video. We're headed north. How appropriate of you. But anyway, that's a huge boss, which for some reason they just have no requirement for you to beat him. Like, he's a main path boss, but there is 0 requirement to beat the boss at all. Very, very odd. By the way, it looks... the prompts, the button prompts, they show PC buttons, like keyboard buttons, but I am not using a keyboard. I'm using a controller, which is how I am able to move so smoothly. I don't know how to get it to show controller buttons. It's probably in the settings somewhere. But it's funnier just to let people think that I'm using keyboard buttons. Like I'm an insane person who only uses keyboard. But anyway, in these ruins you can find the more smithing stones that can get your weapon up to plus 18. And I will show you where it is quickly. These guys are boss enemies that are for some reason just regular enemies in this area. So even if you're going through here normally, you might want to ignore those enemies. Run past them, grab what's worthy of grabbing. See, smithing stone bell bearing 3. That gives you up to plus 18 weaponry. And for some reason, they only give you the one that's for plus 24 weaponry right at the end of the game, right in the very last area of the game. Which this is not the last area. This is the second to last area. Technically third to last, but let's just say second to last new area of the game. Look at all those big, weird trees. What on earth is that supposed to be, even? Something weird and twisty and made of wood. The first thing that comes to mind is a cross. But it doesn't look like a cross now, does it? It's shaped like one, but it doesn't look like one. Like it's shaped like a T. There's a way to get a secret medallion, so you can go down there, and there's much harder bosses, and there's the fabled Melania, and not the Trump one, just the video game Melania. There's a sniper over there, so watch out. He is not good at aiming, but he will shoot you with his curving arrows, because arrows magnetize themselves towards you in all the Dark Souls games, pretty much. Because if they didn't, then none of the enemy's arrows would hit you. Or at least not as often. Look, there's ghost trees. That's some nonsense magic right there. Some nonsense ghost tree magic. There's also ghost animals. So who knows what's going on in these parts. Maybe they're just like attuned to spirits or something in these wild lands. I think I missed a bonfire somewhere, but it does not matter. There are plenty of bonfires. Look at this little man. Ha 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 ha, how little of him. To die by a swing, a singular swing. A singular swing of my sword, sir. Little golden seed. How many do we have? How many do I have? I have 5. I can get 1 more flask. If you fight at the base of the minor Erd trees, you can fight different Erd tree avatar things, and some of them give you golden seeds. So if you want to get more golden seeds, then find all the avatars. And probably explore the map a little more than I have in this playthrough. Somehow I missed the Grace again. The bonfire, the Grace bonfire. In this cold there's a dragon, but you do not need to fight the dragon at all. You just need to run by. Because we do not care about dragons in these parts of town. I think I missed a map piece somewhere along the road. Did I? I did. It was right at the start of the area. But who cares? Who cares about the map at this point? We just want to beat the game. We want to get through the rest of the game smoothly. So yeah, like there's a church over there. One of the last 2 churches in the game. And one of the last 2 sacred tiers in the game. Meaning it's one of the last 2 flask upgrades. And funnily enough, they're right after each other pretty much. Like you go to this church, and then you cross a big metal chain. Then there's like the last church with the last sacred tier. So where are you? Where's the church? It's over there. Just keep riding across this barren, empty landscape. There's my little jellyfish friends. Here's a somber stone bell bearing. So now you can get it up to something. I forget how far it is. I think it's like +6. Yeah, that sounds right. So 11 flasks at +11. How fascinating. And then in the last area of the game, you find a +7 bell bearing for the, or rather +4 bell bearing for the somber stone and the regular stone. And you can get the somber stone up to +8 and the regular stone up to +24. And then you can find a +5 for the somber stone. And that just gets it up to +9. There's a dog behind here who jumps out at you every single time. But not this time, for I knew that he was there, and I avoided him. Sometimes I just like hitting enemies for fun. Because these road trips are really long. And with like not much to do in between them. I mean, I could fight all these enemies and go through all these forts, but it is not required. So why would I do it if it's not required of me? So you run on past all these things, and then look, there's a huge chain at the end of the road. Who on earth put this massive chain here? Maybe it's one of these super giant skull things, giant skeleton things. And I don't mean these giant skeleton things, I mean the giant skeletons who are much more giant than these giants. Because there's like continent-sized giants in this game, but they're all dead giants. I'd like to fight a continent-sized giant in some Souls game at one point. But they'll probably never be cool enough to add that in. I mean, the giant that we're about to face, the boss fight we're about to face, which is the giant, it's pretty giant, but it's not giant enough for my taste. I want it to be uber super giant. Super duper uber giant. Look at these enemies fighting each other. Right in front of a church of all things. Only worst thing could be if it's on a Sunday. like the wrestling league. It's always on a Sunday. Or at least that's what the old commercial said. That's the joke commercial, isn't it? It's Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Watch the wrestling or the monster trucks on Sunday. Come on, man. You didn't have to roll through all of my attacks. You could have let me hit you one time. Dude, if you had used a blood attack, then you would have hit me. You fool, you foolish fool, man. Will I kill him with my last attack? My last final attack? Yes, I will. And without much resistance. Here's your final flask upgrade. Here it goes. Are you ready? Are you ready to see it? There it goes. That's it. No fanfare at all. And not even an achievement for it. You go through all that work for getting it up to snuff. But then the snuff is not enough. The snuff and the buff is not enough. The buff is not up to snuff enough. Anyway, for some reason they put another bonfire here, even though they just gave you one at the church. I guess they felt like you needed 2 bonfires, just in case you miss one maybe, but they're not that obscure of bonfires. You can find them very easily, very incredibly easily. So here's like the 4th to last boss, or rather 5th to last boss, I think. It's a giant fireman. It's a fireman who's giant. Jump over his snow attacks, and then just let him have it. Keep hitting him. You cannot go through his shield, so run around the shield. Bleed is a good type of weapon to have against this boss, because he has like a huge health pool. But his leg is his weak point, so keep attacking that leg. Just roll away when he makes a huge attack, because pretty much 2 attacks kill you in this boss fight. Because that's fair and balanced. That's balanced and fair and balanced. If only he'd stagger. This huge, giant, huge man. Yes, an actual stagger. Now, if only I could get to anywhere that's good for the stagger. He should be getting to phase 2 pretty soon. If he doesn't kill me first. There he goes. And then he, like, tears off his own leg. And watch out for all the fire. Fire Tempest, I think it was called in Dark Souls. That Mimic tier has received almost no damage throughout the fight. It's quite the weapon I have. The Mimic tier is quite the weapon. Then he shoots out rocks that explode at you. Literally, that was his attack. And then you have these spheres you have to dodge, or else they explode on you. Lots and lots of fire-based attacks. Then he just literally shoots out fire at you. His weakness is his hands, but you don't have to attack his hands. It's more dangerous to attack the hands. You can just pretty much attack him anywhere. So I just choose to keep attacking those legs. Because they're the bigger thing to hit. And they move around a lot less than the hands do. So it just makes more sense to me to attack the legs. And then fire, fire, fire. Run away from the fireman. Not the fireman, but the fireman. Fire, comma, man. I did not hit him. There's a huge target. How did you not hit him? Hit him! Heal! Heal! I was trying to use triangle to heal, but that's not the correct one, is it? It's square to heal. Because I'm on PlayStation controllers. There goes that boss. Another demon down. Mwahahaha! And another achievement gotten. Now where's my grace? Should I run past it? Where is it? Wait a minute, where is it? There's supposed to be a grace up here. There it is, but fine, I'll run all that way over there just to get my bonfire. And a couple of levels up. Got to level up. It's looking like next time will be the final video on this miniature series of mine. Because there just aren't that many bosses left, and the rest of the game goes by fairly quickly. If you know what you're doing, that is. If you know the pathway to go down. And I've played this game literally over a dozen times. Beaten this game literally over a dozen times. So I think I know the pathway pretty okay. At this point. At least I should know it pretty okay. If I don't, then I am the fool. No, 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 no. Don't slip off now. Don't act like a fool. Only think like a fool. And then act like a professional. Anyway, here's a big kiln. like the kiln of the first flame in Dark Souls, because we must steal everything from Dark Souls. Must have a huge kiln that sets things ablaze, because that's what the purpose of this thing is. It's to set the big Erd tree ablaze and on fire, so because we want to burn it down to get through its branches. But then it turns out that burning it down is not enough to get through the branches, and we actually need to, like, use magic death curse upon it to truly get past its impenetrable thorns. That's the actual plot of the game, by the way. You have to use a magic death spell upon the golden tree in order to get past the thorns that we couldn't get through. Literally only to get past one door. The one door we could not get through earlier. And then suddenly, for some reason, oh, achievement gotten. But suddenly, for some reason, we are now over here, out in the middle of the ocean. I have no idea why or how we're out here, but we are. And there is no horse usage, even though this is another huge area that has you running around a lot. Just no horse usage at all. But this is the actual final area, the final new area. Crumbling Ferrum Azula. It's pretty much the place where the dragons go. The dragons and dragon-like people. Like these dragon-like people. But again, you do not need to fight anything. You just need to run by. And then hopefully not die by anything that kills you. If it kills you, that is. It might not kill you. Like me! There was a bonfire back in there, but I don't care about it. I don't care about the bonfire. I just care about getting to that next bonfire, because it's closer to where I want to get to. There's a dragon. If you want to, you can fight the dragon, but it mostly just gives you souls, and I think it gives you like a slab, but I might be misremembering. But it gives you something good, some good upgrade material. So if you want to take a chance at a dragon for a slab, then be thy guest, be thy own guest, not my guest, your guest. I've run through this room about a dozen times. I remember it very well, very, very well. Here's a little spell book for you. You can spell things with the book. Yet another bonfire, because they just don't know when enough is enough. And then there's the Somber Stone Bell-bearing 4. So you can now get your weapons up to +8, your special weapons at least. I told you to use the flask, so use the flask. I had to push it twice. Now where's the way forward? There's the way forward. Lots of ways down. Lots of drops. Big, huge drops that you have to go to. I just got souls. Something just died on its own. There was a +9, by the way. For your somber weapons, your special weapons. And now you can go forward and fight the boss, or you can go backward and fight the boss. Jump off the cliff. And then jump all the way down here, because this is another way to get to the boss. And it's much faster to enter the arena from this entrance. Like, it gives you a much faster retry point for the boss. You can retry it a lot faster. That is what I'm saying. You also get a summon, an NPC summon, but I think it only appears after you die once to the boss, so that is very stinky and poopy of them. Poopy game designers. Oh no, there it is. No stinky game designers, no stinky. But get over here, let the boss No, not that one. I didn't want that one. Well, I guess we're stuck with that now. But anyway, these are the worst bosses in the game, the worst designed bosses in the game. They decided to give you both of them at the same time to fight because they're like incompetent game designers at points. And then at other points they make Sekiro, so then it's like, well, are you incompetent or can you make a good game every now and then? Can you make an almost perfect game now and then? Stagger, let me do the thing that I am good at, which is killing staggered enemies. If you kill one of them, then the other will try to spawn in another one. So try to kill this one before it can spawn in another one. And that way you can only face one boss at a time. Another one will spawn in eventually, but you can at least have a shot at killing this one before it summons more. Yes, I staggered him right before the most annoying attack. He, like, turns into a massive donut and rolls around the arena. I'm not even joking. Well, not donut, but like a tire. And rolls around the arena. The only saving grace for this boss is that you can make them sleep with the sleep mechanics. If you have a sleep weapon, you can make these bosses sleep. So that's like the only saving grace that makes it slightly easier. Something that makes you engage with the more obscure game mechanics. Black fire, go away. That fire really sticks around forever. My goodness. Now don't do your thing. Yeah. And let me kill you. Yes. It had like a sliver of HP right there. And it would have spawned another one if I hadn't gotten him right there. So even with my big mistake, I was still able to beat that boss. Thank goodness. Now we just have like 2 bosses left in the whole game. And then that's it. That's the game. It's a wrap. It's over. It's all over. The game is mine. The game is over. The game is mine. So don't bother going all around this area. Just jump to the exit. Because why not? Watch them give me tons of damage. You can make a jump for that pillar that's floating around there, but it's much more dangerous and unneeded. It saves you like a couple seconds. And if you die, then it saves you precisely negative seconds. In fact, negative minutes at that. But go straight through here and then make a hard right and jump over the railing, and then we're much closer. By the way, beating that boss gave me the smithing stone +4 bell bearing, so now I can get up to +24 smithing stones. This area has lots of hawks in it, so if you like killing birds, then you can kill all these big huge attack birds that big huge attack you. Then there's a lightning dragon, so avoid the lightning things all across the ground. If you want to, you can beat him. I'm not sure what it gives you, but right behind him is a slab. Literally just right behind him. You don't even have to beat him or anything. You just grab the slab up there. See that weapon? See that little golden thing up there? That's a slab. I'll grab it so I can just show you. I'm not gonna be like, you grab it yourself and see for yourself. I'm gonna see for yourself. See, it's a somber slab for your special weapons. It's special weapon slab. And then more runes. I'm not insulting you, that's just what I got. I got more runes. You're not a maroon. I just got more runes. I think I could beat the whole game today, if the following bosses don't give me too much trouble. And these enemies too, with their annoying weapons that have huge range and big damage. Despite them being very easy to beat if you have a shield with you, like a basic 100% blocking shield. Shields, even in this game, are extremely useful. They're extremely useful in every Souls game, but even in this game they're super useful. Like, there's one boss. The DLC has like the worst boss in the whole series, pretty much, except for Bed of Chaos, because nothing beats Bed of Chaos for how bad it is. But it has like the second worst boss in the series, this DLC does. And you can beat it a whole lot easier if you just have a shield with you. And yes, I'm using these. I don't want to buy their weapons. And if I don't want to buy their weapons, then all they're good for me is souls. And I know that this boss is tough, so I'm gonna soul myself up. Might as well take away the HUD for a bit. I can do it from this menu, use up all the souls, or at least the biggest ones. The big, huge souls. See how much that gets me. Should be at least 2 levels. So what do I want? Strength is good, but I think I want health. Especially at this point when I'm going up against the toughest bosses, or at least the last bosses. This Dragon Rider guy, just summon people online to help you with him. He's like, he's super tough for no reason. And you don't need to fight him, you can just run past him. I'm not sure if you can summon anyone for this boss, but you can at least summon yourself. And not the jellyfish. Come at me! I have to actually pay attention here, so I might go quiet. So don't think that I've died off screen. It's just me being quiet. Paying attention to the boss. I think you take him down to half health, and then he turns into the Phase 2 version. Yep. Because some bosses in games, it's like you take down the whole health bar, and then it turns into a different boss with a new health bar. Manage your health in this boss fight. Manage it very well, because it can drain like nothing else. Watch out for those explosions. And do your big jump attacks. And heal. Heal often. I know that was dumb, but I had to take the chance. At least I felt like I had to. Come at me. Ow. The yell did nothing. How about that? 0 damage on the yell. Avoid that attack if you can. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Sorry if I blew out your ears there. That was just very tense. Like, that's... my brain is pounding from how tense that was. Does that happen to you? Does your brain pound from tension? My goodness. I was like holding in everything right there. But anyway, you beat him, and then Destined Death... the big death spell goes across the whole world. And look, it's now a death and fire tree. That was one of the most clutch things I've ever done in this game. My goodness. I was just like, this is my one chance, I've got to use that spell. And it worked so wondrously well, and I'm very happy at that result. And I forgot about a boss. There is the all-knowing something. Ofnir. Ofnir the all-knowing, I think that's what his name is. Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And he's a boss, because he doesn't want you to become the Elden Lord. And I just completely forgot about him, because he's like one of the easiest bosses in the game. He like gives you a very long time at the beginning of the fight to just wail on him. Because he wants to talk to you, but you don't have to let the dialogue run out. You can just start attacking him and wailing on him. Which is what I'm about to do. That said, if I die to any of these bosses, then I am leaving the rest for the next video. Probably at least. How far are we? We are 4.5 hours in, doing very well on that timer. That 8-hour timer. The invisible 8-hour timer. Anyway, look, he's talking to me. But the talking does not matter. Talk no jutsu failed. So he knows a bunch of spells and stuff, but that doesn't matter at all. To me, the big huge smash man. And my twin, the bigger, huger smasher man. My spells are better. That's what I say. And there goes Sir Gideon Ofnir the All-Knowing. Boss names sure have gotten long in this series, haven't they? Oh look, it's a tear in the texture, yeah! Thanks for having tears in textures. They're easily noticeable. Anyway, you get his armor and his staff. If you want to cosplay as him, if you want to be the all-knowing man, which I have actually done before. I have done all-knowing runs where like upgrade my stats evenly across the board and try to fight every single boss in the game if I can. But here's your last grace before the last actual final grace. And then here's that one spell that is now 2 spells. See, I got them both at the same time, like I told you. I told you that earlier. Look at all that huge health bar. How? I forgot. What is it? It's 54 technically because of the rune that I have on. But it can go down to 49 because that's where it's actually upgraded to. Anyone to summon? No. No summons, I see. Well, I guess I'll summon myself instead. Anyway, here's a guy. He's a man and a guy man. He's a big, huge guy man. And you might recognize him from that one spectral ghost thing that we fought earlier to get the 4th talisman patch. But it's pretty much the same fight, at least for the first phase. You might have like huger, earth-shattering attacks. Like when he stomps his legs down, and then makes the earth like rise or whatever. But now he's in his grappler phase, and he will grab you. So watch out for those grabs. Like George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree. And this guy is as big as a tree. Oh, there you go. Grab. It takes away all your health. I chose violence instead of running away. And look, I got victory. I knew that he would do a huge attack there. But I chose to deal more damage instead. Another achievement. These things are just rolling in, aren't they? And the souls are also rolling in. It's as if I'm in the late game. Oh, come on, I can get one more level out of that. I can easily get one more level out of that. Oh yeah, I can use these souls. Just use like one of those, see how much it's worth. It's worth plenty. And if it's not worth plenty, then we have our soul grinding farm from earlier. But here we have the last final boss. That's actually 2 bosses. And if you want, you can summon all your online friends to help you, or you can just use the Mimic tier, which is what I'm about to do, or at least attempt to. This boss can be very inconsistent as to how much damage you can get in at any time, any given time. Just gotta be careful and watch out, and also be careful while you watch out. Do your jump attacks, do your regular attacks, do your any attacks you can get off on him. Him/her, because this is Radagon, but it's also America. Because for some reason they're the same entity, literally the same entity. I don't know how that works, but it works. It works somehow in Nonsense Magic Land. Let me... Oh, okay. It did not let me. I wanted to get that stagger damage. Rolled too early, it would seem. And I would have done it again there, if it hit me. And big boom with big damage circle. Get out of there, friend. Yes! That is phase 1. Get ready for phase 2, which is big, ugly space thing. Don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's a big, huge space thing.